My vote rocks. My vote rocks. My vote rocks.
Hello and welcome to Idea My Vote Rocks. This is a special series that we are doing to check in on the pulse of young India. What do they feel about life, love, politics? Are they going to vote? Are they not going to vote? And today, we're asking them what they think of the Indian economy and how actually it's affecting all of their lives. And we have special guests. But before I introduce her, let me just come straight in on this. For all of you people out here, now you do remember you've got those flags there. Green means yes, red means no. So before I go to the scientific opinion poll that we have done, let's do some of the unscientific stuff first. How many of you think the Indian economy is in terrible shape? Okay, there are lots of people who don't think it's in terrible shape. In how many of your cases is the current slowdown affecting your lives? Like, are your pocket monies being cut, not going out, no seeing movies? Is it affecting your life? So, some people's lives it is affecting, some people's lives it is not affecting. How is it affecting your life?
A $250 full tank for me now costs $350, and my pocket money. I mean, last year I used to get $1,000 and I used to party hard, but now within 5 days or in 10 days, it's all gone.
Where is pocket money coming from? Is your pocket money going up or down? Who says up? Wave a green flag. So some people are benefiting. Let me go and ask them why they are benefiting. So your pocket money is going up a lot right now.
Yeah, my dad's in the merchant navy, so I get remittance. I mean, that way.
Oh, so your money comes in dollars. So you're
Yes,
really
yes,
doing well.
yeah.
Okay, let me now get to the formal opinion poll. Now that we've seen that some interesting things are potentially happening in the pocket money market, at least for young people, and I'm going to come back and find out how it's really affecting everyone's lives. Partying is, though, still continuing. So before I introduce the formal questions and all that, let me just introduce the special panel that we've got out here. Kunal Bahl's with us, who's the co-founder and CEO of Snapdeal. So if you want to really get some nice deals, here's the man to catch hold of right now. None of you are leaving, none of you should be leaving this until you figured out from him exactly how you can make your money last more. So, you know, I'm putting that to you. Garima Jain, the president of the Young Fiki Ladies Organization. It's wonderful to have you with us. Meher Sharma, associate editor, Business Standard, and Nandita Bose, who's an entrepreneur. Thank you all so much for being with us. Before I go to the opinion poll, quick take from all of you. How bad is it out there, the economy?
I think it kind of depends on who you are. For some people who are in the earlier stages of their life, it's probably not pinching them as much. As you get older and have to take more important decisions where money matters, I think it's becoming more and more significant. Also, it matters which sector you're in.
So my theory, right, of giving more pocket money to your parents instead of the other way around works.
Probably. I don't know how parents will look upon it, but nonetheless, I think things are not as bad as they could be. I think where they get worse in our mind is that there is no explanation for why they are bad. And that's what creates the uncertainty in everyone's mind.
I thought we knew exactly why it's bad right now. I think there's a bunch of reasons why it's bad. Okay, maybe we will come to the reasons. Let me get you in. How bad is it?
You know, I think it's a notional thing. I mean, it's bad for a lot of people, but I feel that it's because there is so much confusion. One is not clear of where it's going. Somebody who's a young person, who's, you know, a young entrepreneur as well, I feel people are still buying, people are still spending, but it's a confused state, I feel.
Okay, so it's a confused state. Mayor?
Well, I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people worry that it is. For most people that we're likely to know, incomes have gone up, you know, quicker than prices have. You don't see much of a change in your lifestyle. When things go bad, you really have to make a lot of cutbacks. And I think very few people that, you know, who are likely to be watching this show or are on it will have seen that kind of cutback.
Okay.
Two ways I would see this. We export a lot of our produce. So for that, it's really good for us because we're selling at a cheaper rate and we have greater volumes. On the other hand, we do sell to a domestic market online. But because sentiments are a little on the bleaker side, and jewelry is a luxury product, the impulse is not as greater as one would like it to be, as has been in the past. Because the question then comes, do I really need it versus do I really need to have it? So if there's gloom and doom outside, I don't think you'd be clicking that button.
Okay, fair enough. So what is it and where is the shoe pinching to the extent that it is pinching? I'm going to come and take a range of views from everyone out here. But let's just see what the opinion poll said. Now remember, this entire series of shows are based on one of the largest opinion polls that's been done on checking in on the mood of young India. What are people feeling about various factors? So one of the questions that we did ask people in a number of the cities that we have spoken to, we asked them, what would they do if they were Prime Minister? What would be number one on the agenda if they were to be Prime Minister? I'm going to ask some of you this question as well. But these are the results. This is what the opinion poll threw up. 49% said the first thing they would do is control inflation. So price rise is the big issue. 39% said ensure women's safety, which is an episode that we just taken a very close look at. 25% said remove corruption. So 49%, it doesn't add up because some people said they would have two options or the other, but clearly controlling inflation, the biggest thing. So let me get a sense of that from here. How many of you think that the biggest problem right now is price rise? How many of you think that? Some greens, but there are lots of reds, and this table very strongly is red. They don't think inflation is a problem. From the point of view of economic issues, what worries you the most?
The main thing is that investment in education, which is pretty much low. India spends 1.2% of its GDP on education. Now, human capital, which the developed countries does a lot expense, which India doesn't. That is, if we go through, then there is a long-term positivity which can be seen.
Okay, so we're not doing as much in education as we do. Let me come to some views out here. What's the biggest economic problem that's bothering you?
According to me, the biggest economic problem that is being like it's only about inflation only.
Price rise is what it
yeah.
worries you. Why does
There's a price hike.
How does price rise affect your life?
It's like there's more of demand and less of supply.
No, that's the logical.
Yeah.
That's a correct.
Yeah, that's
answer.
a
How
logical
is it
and
affecting
even
your
practical.
life? Like last week, how did price rise affect you?
See, my expenditure raised, but my pocket money was that much only.
Yeah. So you one drink less, one party less, one movie less. Is that what it means?
Yeah, that I can say.
I don't know about inflation, but yes, I know about employment. And I think that after maybe next 3 years, I would be really concerned about it. And I'm concerned about it.
You would be concerned about getting a job 3 years from now. So employment is something that worries you.
Employment is something.
Okay, fair enough. So a lot of people saying prices. Some people are saying that there are other things that worry you. What worries you?
So for me, it's taxes.
Taxes? What's wrong with taxes? You should pay taxes.
Sir, no, sir. We should have a taxes holiday for a month at least.
And what happens to the government's finances?
So, no, sir.
Deficit, inflation.
So it will rise, sir. It's in.
I mean, I hate to sound as if I'm the finance minister, but you know, you got to pay tax.
Sir, in IT BPO in India, currently it has 300 million people, and its value is more than $100 billion. But still, it's lack of support of taxes law. So we should have a taxes holiday.
A tax holiday. Okay, now can I ask you this question? How many of you agree with him? No more taxes. Okay, mercifully for the finance minister, most people don't agree with him. Can I just ask all of you, if you had to pick, what would be the issue that would worry you the most? Would it be inflation? Would it be something else?
I think it's governance. I think just lack of transparency in governance. I know it's very broad, but at the end of the day, that's what.
And that's an economic issue in your view?
It causes an economic issue as a result, right? In addition to safety issue, in addition to any other issues that you had pointed out.
Mihir?
I think it's energy. Half our
lack of energy among our top politicians, or is it energy prices? Which are the two?
No, it's a lack of energy altogether. But essentially, we're sitting in a well-lit studio, but the oil that is essentially lighting it when you get back to it is coming from abroad, and that's the source of half of our problems. We've overinvested in coal, in coal-fired plants. Half the problems that we're facing right now are because those plants can't access the coal because we have to cut down trees to get them, and it turns out there are people living on top of the coal who don't like us taking it away from them. Okay. So there are all these problems that we have assumed, we assumed for 10 years at Chatike, the energy will keep on coming. I'm sorry, that's not how it works.
Okay, it's interesting you said that. And before I come to both of you, it's interesting you said that because that actually was one of the questions that we asked. That if price rise is such a big concern, and it's 49%, remember, of people, of young Indians saying that if they were Prime Minister, the first thing they would do was to worry about price rise and to do something about inflation. So we then asked them the follow-up question that if that's what you truly believe, what do you think is to blame for inflation? What's the real root cause of inflation? And here were the results in the Hansa Research Urban Youth Poll. 32% said that the single biggest reason is the rise in prices of fuel imports. So we've got to do something about fuel imports, and if we can fix that, then inflation will be fixed. So that's actually a remarkably economically perceptive audience out there. 19% actually blamed sales and service tax. So that's your set of the audience out there. So 19% said sales and service taxes are too high, and 13% said that somewhere the deregulation of prices has gone nuts, and as a result of that, that's causing inflation. I'm not sure whether economists would agree with that. And by the way, there are regional differences. North, East, West said fuel prices. That's the single biggest problem. South is really upset about deregulation of prices. They think all prices should be controlled, which you're looking horrified at that, Mihir. You think that's the worst thing to do?
I'm really startled, yes. I don't know how that works, yeah.
You don't want... Okay, so let me ask the two of you.
I think it's...
First of all, if you were Prime Minister, would you worry, what would you do to get inflation down?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I would start thinking and actually acting on what I believe in, which is...
So in other words, the present Prime Minister is neither thinking nor acting. Is that what you're saying?
They need to do something about it. I mean, instead of just either shying away from the problem or blaming something else. I mean, there is a problem, there is a root cause, get to it.
We are right now in this audience naming you Prime Minister. Now, the next 30 seconds you have to fix inflation. What would you do?
I would, the whole thing of a lack of things, the shortage of things is what is causing a lot of problems.
Supply-side problems, in other words. Okay, let me get you in.
I think what we're not looking at is we're not creating a strong space for investment. I mean, you have companies like Biocon thinking of going overseas to Malaysia, which is right, a step away. Why? Because there's poor infrastructure, there's no water. I mean, you need to fix those things as a country, as the Prime Minister of the country, so that there can be at least some kind of investment from your own companies, domestic companies and overseas.
Okay, so basic infrastructure is lacking. That's the view which has been expressed. And having said that, since all of you were born, infrastructure has improved a lot compared to what it used to be. But still obviously a long way to go. How many of you agree with that? That infrastructure is one of the really big problems. It's the biggest problem, perhaps. Okay, so that table all believes in blaming infrastructure. So let me ask you why you think infrastructure is a big problem.
Infrastructure is a big problem because it is the main thing that kind of pushes the growth up. So in that case, it is the biggest issue.
Okay, let me get the lady here.
In the long term, if we want a long-term growth, we need a sustainable development, and for that, we need infrastructure anyways. And the taxes that we are paying, where are they going? We need to ask the government: are they providing education, proper government schools to the?
So you also don't believe in paying taxes, or do you feel the taxes are fine?
My father pays taxes, and I don't think I'm getting any facility out of it. And
what about the defense of the country and the roads that you traveled in to come out here?
It's okay, but.
You want more? Okay, now can I ask you all a leading question? I'm going to spend some time in discussing this leading question. All the problems that we've had, that we've discussed, what the government should do and should not do. The leading question that I really want to ask all of you is that everything having been said and having been done, do you still believe that your future will be the best here in India or abroad? How many of you feel that your future eventually will be the best here in India? I want to see everyone's flag and then I'm going to comment on it. So right now the Greens are outnumbering the Reds by some margin, which is interesting and good to see. Can I go to some of the people who disagreed with that?
Employment opportunities are very less. Here.
You think employment opportunities aren't less in America or in Europe? That's, I hate to be a devil's advocate, but I'm asking you.
But though the opportunities may be lesser, but the economy is stable. The amount of
Which
salary
economy is stable? European economy is stable. You should see what's happening out there, and Japan. Okay, so now I've done. Let me get some more. The people who are feeling that it's better to go abroad and live abroad and settle down abroad. Okay, the lady out there.
I'd say Indian mentality is the cause of inflation, so it's better to go out abroad.
Welcome, the same Indian mentality. The same Indians do very well abroad.
No, I disagree with that, because here, if I throw I can walk around and throw, like I litter around. But over there, I know I'll be checked and I won't do the same.
So it's not the Indian mentality. It's the fact that the same Indian is indisciplined out here and is disciplined
over
abroad.
There, it's like, it's the larger whole. The larger whole is like that, so I'm bound to think like that. Instead of going abroad, I'll, like, there'll be better standards of living.
So you think you're better off going abroad because you'll be better behaved when you go abroad. Is that what it is?
And that is
there'll
very
be a
much
danda on your head abroad, so you'll behave better, so your future will be better abroad. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Over
so
there's lack of,
can I urge you to exercise the danda on her from now, so she'll be better behaved right here? Okay, how many of you feel that long term your future is secure right here in India and there's no better place for you to be?
Youngest country right now with a median age of 26. The next 10 years, I believe, are going to be fantastic. The whole world is coming to India and China, and I believe we are going to be the next big thing in the world.